believe it or not, taking self-agency can feel so good. And yeah, on one hand, it feels scary because, I'm responsible for my choices. Yet on the other hand, when you follow through for yourself and do yourself the favor of something that is good, that's amazing. Part of the problem that we're running into in our culture is, and this goes for addiction too, reward without cost, or reward without effort, right? And being an agent of ourselves asks us to take part in that effort, to then find the reward, even the reward in the effort, and then being able to turn back to the Lord and praise Him for that. Welcome to our next question, a place of discovery and not the final answer. I'm Chris Onit, the marriage and family therapist, and sitting next to me is Melanie Jones, part owner of Downey Park Counseling, and my wife.
Thanks for joining us. Let's get the conversation started.
Okay, welcome back.
Here we are.
Here you are.
In the same clothes.
And I am in the same clothes. I know, it's been 2 weeks. Hey, we coordinate these things. We are back in the studio once again after a holiday break. And it got me thinking about, by the way, today's topic is what is autonomy, or even agency? What is agency, I think?
What is agency?
What is agency? Okay. We're going to explore that a little bit. It's almost a sidebar on the last time's.
Yeah, necessary tension.
Necessary tension, because there is necessary tension with agency and autonomy.
If you didn't listen to that episode, go back and listen to it.
You won't understand this one,
good.
really. It'll be so confusing. So anyway, so our icebreaker. What is our icebreaker?
Are you a good gift giver?
Are you a good gift giver?
I feel like Melanie might be able to answer that for you.
And yes, right. Let's not answer for each other, please. And this is, by the way, this isn't just about the holiday season. This is because there's gift giving opportunities all throughout the year.
Yes.
And I've got to start planning. Your birthday is in April.
Yes. Start planning now.
When's your birthday again, Caleb?
February.
Oh,
yeah, I'm closer.
Up.
Okay.
Coming up.
Yeah.
Gird your loins. Okay, so babe, are you a good gift giver? Or what is a good gift giver?
I think I am a good gift giver.
How is that?
Sometimes. And you know why I think I am is because gifts is like one of my love language.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I've been confused this whole time. I thought it was acts of service.
It is. They're tied. They're tied.
Yeah, they're competing.
But I think it's like knowing a person.
Yep.
Like when you really know a person and you can, and I don't always hit it on the mark, but, and can I just tell you one of my favorite gifts that I gave from this last holiday season was, we did a white elephant gift exchange for,
oh my gosh.
Just our family did it.
You're going there.
Cause it was so great.
It was epic.
So we, Michaela, our daughter, had told us we're all going to do a white elephant in celebration of Elijah's birthday, and it has to be Elijah themed.
Oh man. So Michaela had a hand in this.
Yes. Oh, in the gift I gave? No.
Yes.
No,
what I'm saying is her prompting.
Oh, her prompting, absolutely.
So she set the stage.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I was racking my brain because I was like, that's really hard. But so what I finally dawned on me, I saw I think it was on Pinterest or somebody was doing these ornaments out of old family photos, and I didn't do that, but it made me think of a drawing that Elijah did when he was about 4 or 5. I can't remember.
Yes.
So I got a really nice frame. And
do you want to go into the detail about what the drawing was? Okay.
So I went because I have a whole little folder full of my children's drawings and letters because I'm sentimental like that.
Absolutely.
But, so I fished it out, and he had drawn, and it was on the back of a Teletubbies coloring book. Because I still have it, but it's him. I wish I had a picture.
Stick figures, by the way.
Stick figures, yeah, and 3 fingers. It's him.
3 fingers and toes, articulated.
Yeah, he's standing there, and he is peeing on
a tree or on the ground.
On the ground.
Yes.
And Chris is standing
I am
behind
depicted
him.
also.
with his hand up like he's going to spank him.
Yes.
But Elijah has this huge smile on his face
Yes.
as he's peeing on the ground.
Right? It's a
And
relief smile, no
it
doubt.
It was amazing because he even drew Chris's brow kind of furrowed.
Oh my gosh.
And then he drew like little lines underneath himself, showing himself like he's leaping.
like he's leaping in the ground, yes.
Yeah.
Leaping off
It
the
was
ground.
so great.
That's very disturbing if you're the dad in that, which I am. It's like, this is how my son sees me. It's plenty of psychological fodder for the analysts.
Anyways, it was a huge hit.
So
Everybody
what
wants
did you
a copy.
know? Wait. What did you do though? You didn't just have that gift. You traced it.
Yeah, I traced it. Yeah, because I wanted it to be like an exact
Yes, it was an exact. I don't know. What do you call a print or whatever?
print. I could have just photocopied it, but
No, tracing is cool because then you have mom in there, and then you framed it. And let me tell you, that was the commodity at the gift giving exchange. It was.
who ended up with it? River.
I think River ended
did.
up with it, and he would not. He would fight people if they tried to take it from him. So that was.
so great.
Yes, you're right. That was incredible. And even you got me like a bearskin hoodie, and I didn't ask for that, but I had bought a cheaper version off of Amazon because these bearskins are not cheap.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, nah, I don't need the totally expensive thing, so I'll just get the knockoff. And it proved itself as a knockoff. I mean, it started to fall apart. And I just casually mentioned it. I didn't mention it trying to get something, but I remember I was just like, well, there's a hole in the pocket here, and the dog treats would go into that hole in my pocket. And a few other things that were like, oh man, this thing's kind of falling apart. But I was like, it is what it is. Didn't think of anything of it, and then lo and behold, I got the bearskin. Yay.
Okay,
So yes, you are.
Are you?
I don't. I'm a struggling gift giver. I am yearning to improve.
Are you like a gift card guy?
No, not. I really. I think I'm a better gift giver than I used to be.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh God, that was a Hail Mary. I was throwing one out there. Yeah, I think I'm a better one than I used to be, but I want to improve. And part of it is, yes, you study people, you pay attention to what they say, and you act accordingly.
Yeah.
I think I did pretty okay this year.
You did.
For you.
You did.
What did I get you? Tell the world. That 10-carat diamond.
No, not that.
It's not your style.
No. You got me the Carta Atlas, which I was wanting. It's an out-of-print biblical atlas.
Yes.
So I love that. But then you got me something that I hadn't even mentioned.
Yes.
Which is a textbook on the Old Testament. And at first I was like, huh?
I could tell.
But it is excellent. It is an excellent book. I forget what it's called.
Cool.
I don't know. Something New Testament.
And you still have a gift that's...
Old Testament. Sorry, Old Testament.
You still have a gift that's in the mail.
Oh, okay.
I keep alleging, but it's supposed to come today.
Okay.
Hail, sleet, or snow. Caleb.
I am an excellent gift giver.
Oh,
all right.
It's definitely also one of my top love languages, if not the top, giving and receiving of gifts.
Nice.
And yeah, I just love, like, I know people's interests really well, and I kind of keep track of them, their hobbies or
Do
their...
you keep a notebook? How do you do this?
I don't keep a notebook. It's all kind of just mental.
Yeah.
And then I'm
Wow.
also a very creative person, so I love getting kind of like searching things out or creating things or like kind of going to more unorthodox, not the black market, but
What he means by unorthodox is...
Etsy is a great resource of people who do a lot of like handcrafted stuff. That's
Oh
more
my
unique.
gosh, yes.
And you can find kind of more tailored interests, but I'll often I'll see something and I'll like save it away because I'm like, ooh, I knew that will be perfect for someone at some point. So I even like, there's something for my mom that I'm like, oh, that's perfect for her. And I held on to it for like a year probably until I'm like, it's either a
that's some
birthday
next
or
level
Mother's
stuff.
Day moment, you know. So.
Oh, nice.
Oh, see, there's a technique where there's not necessarily a thing coming up, but you think of them.
Yeah.
When you
Or-
think, because you'll come across something and it's not around a holiday or
Yeah.
a birthday.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
You can't just ignore it.
But
Yeah.
I need to start doing that because then when the actual time comes, you're like, wait, what was I going to...
That's right.
Yeah, I got
You're set.
complimented this Christmas too because I bought gifts for all my nieces and nephews, and my brother was like, "Man, you get such good gifts. Like you really think about like each of them, even though they're kids, like what their interests
That's
are."
right.
and,
I'm
like,
crushing it.
I'm like, let's go. Yeah.
That's right. And it does feel great.
Uh-huh.
And it's
when
fun.
your gift hits the mark.
Because my brother's always been a very like, give me a list and I'll get something off the list. And
no
I'm like,
fun.
I don't like to have a list. I want you to like surprise me based off how you know me as a person, what I'd be interested in. Like, I don't want to know what's going to come. Like,
Yeah, totally.
Because a gift is like a personal thing of like you to me.
Yes.
So anyway, not everyone feels that way. So I got to give some slack.
Yeah, exactly. You can't judge them. So I went on a solo camping trip one time, and I was up in the California northwest part of California, Eureka, those parts, and there's this massive gem store that Mel and I have passed by a few times, that has visited a few times, and I was determined to get her a gem, and I walk into there, and I'm looking at all the little stones, and I'm like, I am lost. I do not know what little stones to get. And then, like a beacon of light, I went outside and they had this bin full of these massive rose quartz stones. Uh-huh. And when I say massive, I'm talking this thing weighs 40, 45 pounds. And I was like, when I saw it, I said, I do not care how much that costs. I am buying that. Now, thank God it wasn't $5,000. It was reasonable. But I brought it home to her, and I was like, you could keep that outside. And she goes, no, I want to keep it right here in the living room. It was this.
I really like rocks, FYI.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Okay. So awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, you guys inspire me. And if I could be like you a little bit in the gift giving department, I think I'm be doing okay. Okay. So what is agency and autonomy? And why are these things important? I think they're important because one of the top things we get into trouble with, as far as who I see comes through the office and everything else, one of the top struggles is a person's own agency and autonomy. And we're going to get into that a little bit to help understand. But before we do that, we're going to start with the definition, right? And so I'm going to read it right this time. Thank you, Caleb. But agency is the capacity to intend, choose, and act as a causal participant in your own life.
Not a casual participant.
Not a casual participant, by the way. Don't just assume words say something. Look at them. And autonomy, according to, the SDT theory, which is self-determination theory of therapy, is volition, endorsing your actions from the inside. And it's not the same as rugged independence or individualism. Agency is not omnipotence. It is what is mine to do inside real limits. So we as Christians operate within, right, the sovereignty of God. And yet he, because we are created in his image, he gives us certain sovereignty, not ultimate sovereignty. So explore that a little bit.
Or agency.
Agency.
In our own, yeah.
Yes, we don't just sit back and be like, well, whatever God does, that's going to happen, because we are also agents to bring about his will.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he calls us to a lot of things that we get the opportunity to respond to either positively or negatively. Yeah.
100%. So this tends to be on a continuum, right? On the one end, there's the toxic self-reliance or hyper agency, right?
Yeah.
It's on me. And this can be enacted in a couple different ways. It can be active like one up, and that is more aggressive. Like, I've got to kick this in the butt and take control and make things happen. Or it can operate in a one down position where it's like, well, if I don't follow through, bad things are going to happen and people are going to suffer it's on me, right? Toxic self-reliance. Then in the middle, there's healthy interdependent agency, right, where we act in accordance with others, keeping them in mind, others as individuals, even our environment, right? That interaction between the personal, relational, and external. And then there's toxic dependence, which is hypo-agency, which is, I have to be rescued. I have no volition, or I have no choice. Someone's got to do something to get me out of this. So.
Seems like this is where a lot of marriages can really struggle.
Yes.
Is on all sides of the spectrum, whether you're overly dependent on your
Yes.
spouse and have no agency whatsoever.
Can you give some examples?
So if I can't make any sort of decision, if I feel like my happiness is completely dependent on you,
Right.
and then if you don't measure up or come through,
Right.
then I'm resentful and angry.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's giving up your own agency because then you're putting it in my basket.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I may not even know you're putting it in my basket.
Right.
And that
Yeah.
could go two ways, where I am the dominant one and I don't like you having agency.
Right. Well, that's where I think that you can, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of marriages like this, where one spouse is the toxic self-reliance and
Yes.
the other one is hyper-dependent.
Right. Right. And it's funny because the other part of this is, I mean, look, we tend to mate to connect with our dysfunction, right? So if my dysfunction is I'm not okay with myself and I must dominate the situations for me to be okay. I have to have that overt controlling. I'm going to more than likely find someone who subordinates their self and becomes covertly controlling and has to comply, or they think they have to comply. And that type of person will not be able to make a decision on their own.
Yes.
They'll constantly defer to the more dominant.
Yes.
Right. And it's funny with dominant people who are quote unquote dominant, people use the term strong personality, and that's not necessarily true because a strong personality can be quiet.
And is okay with themselves.
It's totally okay with themselves and they know their own agency. It's a forceful personality that is not, that has to control.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. Yeah. So yes, one extreme is toxic self-reliance. The other is toxic dependence. And so we have to be aware. Well, I mean, some other examples, I guess, is toxic self-reliance is I must carry everything, control, perfectionism, emotional shutdown, contempt for weakness even. Oh boy. What, are you
and
crying
don't you
again?
think a lot of this is stemming from, I think everyone can hear me.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep nodding me toward the microphone. I think a lot of this, I know a lot of this stems from the way you were raised, right?
Yeah, totally.
What kind of dysfunction were you raised in that creates these tendencies?
Uh-huh.
And knowing, I don't know, I mean, 9/10 of all this stuff is just being aware.
Yes.
I feel like. And knowing.
Yes.
Like, oh, I have this tendency because, not blaming your parents or anything like that.
Right.
But this is the dynamic, and this is kind of what it has created in me, and this tends to be my struggle now.
Yeah.
Is that I'm gonna defer to you because I can't. I'm not
It's the
comfortable.
going out to eat dilemma.
That's more about me being a 9 than it is about.
I asked you. I should just force you to make a decision. Well, so the other side is like toxic dependence, the hypoagency. I can't. Someone else must fix it.
Yeah.
Even passivity, enmeshment, avoidance. In psychology language, it's learned helplessness, believe it or not. After repeated uncontrollability, people stop trying even when actions become possible. It's interesting because this gets into kind of the victim mentality, and there's plenty of people who have a victim mentality, but they also have a blind spot where they don't see themselves as having a victim mentality because they will pendulum swing from a type of toxic dependence to no, I'm not going to let anything through. I've heard of a story of the wife changing all of her husband's radio stations to Christian radio stations, thinking it will somehow influence him to the way she was hoping he would be.
Oh.
Right?
If only it were that simple.
That is in between victim and persecutor. That is it's controlling.
It is, yeah.
But it's also they see themselves as righteous. Or if you, go, the wife that, I shouldn't use wives all the time. The wife that throws all her husband's alcohol away.
Uh-huh.
It's like, like she may think, okay, I know I'm being autonomous here. I'm doing it, but it's actually because of something they are trying to control, in which case they are becoming dependent on husband's actions for them to be okay.
Well, and what does that really change?
Right.
Do you want him
Yes.
to stop drinking because you just dumped out all his bottles?
That'll do it. Right.
But I feel like agency says, you know what? You are your own individual and you're going to make
Yes.
your choices,
Right.
healthy
And-
or not. And I'm not in control of that.
Right. But I also don't. So healthy agency is also to say, I also don't have to like play a part in supporting that.
Exactly. Yeah.
In other words, if you come home at many different hours throughout the week, you come home, at 4 p.m. We've talked about this before. We come home at 4 p.m. You come home at 6 p.m. Another day you come home at 9 p.m. and you want a hot meal. And I'm doing that. I'm making you a hot meal and I'm resentful of you. I'm not practicing my agency to say, yeah, I could totally do a hot meal. Be home at 5.
Yeah.
Be home at 5.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be resentful about it. You can just say, oh, yeah, that's the deal. And if, other spouse doesn't like that, it's not like, well, that's your problem. It's, gosh, yeah, no, I understand why you don't like it. What can we do about this? How can you be home at a certain time to have the hot meal? Or if you're not, just accept that it's not going to be there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So also agency is about allowing others their agency.
Yes. Yes.
The moment you don't is the moment you give up your agency.
Because then you're going into control.
Yes. Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Agency inside the person, heart, soul, mind, and strength. So our agency and emotion is I can feel without being ruled by my feelings. I don't have to suppress them. I don't have to control them. I don't have to override them. I don't have to let my mood determine my behaviors, actions, and reactions. In other words, something didn't go the way I expected it to go. Okay. Life happens. I'm not ruminating on, it should have gone this way. The moment I do that, I'm giving it up to the environment didn't happen the way I'm getting all red lights on the way to work. It's
So it's also accepting the things that we can't control.
Yes, that is a very agentic type of behavior to say, life happens, man.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not avoiding, right? It's not, I don't like this, so I'm not even going to engage with it. As far as soul, meaning, values, I can live from what matters. Hyper would be meaning collapses into perfection or performance and merit, versus dependent, which is meaning collapses into comfort and safety. This is where our culture kind of gets into this whole, is it safe? It's as safe as you determine it is.
But that could be even skewed, right? Our own ideas of what's safe.
Yeah, I think we have to be careful when it's like if I say, well, I can't share with you, Melanie. I can't share everything because you're not safe. Well, some of that may be true. And what does that even mean? Are you not safe because you're not going to respond the way I hoped you will?
Yeah.
Like when I gave you the textbook as a gift and I didn't see you light up right away. It's like, well, you're not safe to give gifts to because you hurt my feelings. No, it's you get to be you.
Yeah.
You get to be you and have that reaction, and I can feel safe in allowing you to be you. And then as you've gone through the textbook, you've realized again and again how awesome it is.
Yes.
And I didn't have to fret. I didn't have to control. I didn't have to mope or whatever.
Yeah.
All my normal techniques.
Yeah.
Okay, healthy is what we call chosen allegiance. In other words, your meaning, the meaning you have for it, you understand the meaning you have for it, and you align yourself to those values, not necessarily aligning yourself to an other, determining your values. So, you know, how do I align myself, or how do I, self-determination theory calls this an integrated volitional, it's kind of technical, integrated volitional motivation. In other words, so for example, if I gave you a gift and you didn't react the way you want, does that mean I say, fine, I'm not giving her gifts anymore? Or is it my value to give gifts because that's who I want to be? Yes, it is. Therefore, I will give you gifts. If you don't like them, if you throw them away, that's a bummer. But that's what I do.
You're doing it because you want to do it.
Because I want to do
it. Not because
yes.
you feel compelled, like,
right,
in an unhealthy way.
Yes.
Is that what that's meaning?
Yes.
You're saying then?
Yes, and then there's no string tied to, it's like giving your kids gifts, and if you're like, well, they never respond the way I want them to, or they're ingrates, you know, maybe there's some business there where it's like, maybe we've gotten into the culture of consumerism where we've given them just too much and they're blind to, you know, really appreciating something. But yeah, I mean, there could be like, I still want to, in that case, your gift, well, this is a whole different topic, but your gift giving could go into a realm of, let me really determine like what type of gifts I want to give them. Mel's very good at, she's a great gift giver. So she gave two of our boys, what did you call them? You had a name for them.
I had hobby themed gifts.
Hobby themed gift.
These two boys are, you know, wanting to find things. Like Ian just started doing stained glass,
right?
You know, of his own accord. So I wanted to get something that I felt like they would enjoy doing, that they haven't done.
Right.
So yeah, so I got Ian a meat grinder. Sounds so funny. I got him a meat grinder, and then I got him a sausage making book.
Yes.
And I got him some casings.
Right. You can make some sausage.
Yeah, and then Elijah, I got him a book on it's called Fiery Fermentation. So he loves hot sauces. Sure. So I thought, he can make his own hot sauce. So I got him a bunch of seeds. I got him the fermenting
Caleb's
jars.
like, can you be my mom?
I love hot sauce. So
do you? Yeah.
Oh,
Fiery fermentation. I know. I'm getting you for your birthday.
There we go. She stored it away for later.
So this is a interesting, I mean, it kind of side noted into the gift giving thing. But again, when it comes to our own volition, we do things out of our own values, not because we are looking for reactions from others. Although that could be supportive. That
it's
could be
nice,
like,
but
it sure is. But sure is.
I'm seeing this like outside of just relationships too. I'm seeing like work being a thing that we can become dependent on and lose our agency in. Like obviously addiction is a huge thing.
Yeah.
I even think of like how social media is used in a way to keep us hooked and addicted and kind of strip our agency away to some degree, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Where we become addicted to that as well.
100%. 100%. So as far as our cognitions or our mind is concerned, this goes into, like, believe it or not, our locus of control, internal or external. External locus of control is the psychological principle that it's things outside of you that determine your fate, your okayness, where you're going in life. It's institutions, it's things, right? Maybe there's some truth to that. I'm sure in a lot of circles there is. Then there is the internal locus of control where I am responsible for my fate, right? And there's necessary tension between these two, right? There are institutions out there that want to keep some people down. Yet at the same time, what can we do, and can we bypass some of those so that we have agency? This is what I can do in light of that, right?
Right.
So,
well, I think that could go to the unhealthy side of that, of thinking that you do have it all under control when God is ultimately sovereign over your life. And so,
yes. And if you get fired from your job, like, that might mean some responsibility. What have I done to kind of augur toward this, instead of just saying, well, everybody's against me? Because you continue to get fired from jobs. Hate to tell you.
You.
Might be you. Yes. So there's in our mind and our cognitions, there's healthy, realistic responsibility and realistic limits. So
I'm curious more about that addiction thing you brought up. That's interesting to me. So are you saying when in addiction we lose our agency to the
I'm
substance?
sure Chris would know a lot more about this, but that's kind of...
I think you're spot on.
Yeah, we see it.
You seem to be doing fine.
Yeah, we lose our agency and we become fully dependent on that thing for our own, whatever needs to be met or whatever it is, and we can't find a way out of it because we're so, focused on it being kind of our controlling factor. I'm kind of combining this and relationships and
100% because we have that's an external. Right? In the personal, relational, external realm, an external would be a substance or a thing. So we can absolutely give up our own agency to that thing. Oftentimes in addiction, when an addict is fully involved in their addiction, what you actually have a relationship with is the addiction.
Yeah.
Not who the addict truly is. Right? Not their heart of hearts. Because, if you see in their heart of hearts, they would do like amazing things. They would be caring, compassionate, like capable.
Yeah.
And so if you start to talk to them and say, hey, what about these things? And they deflect, they deny, they, shut down the conversation. That's you not talking to them. And that's talking to the addiction and how it controls them.
Yeah. Because it's the master at that point.
It's the master.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
So this might be slightly different direction, but how do you help someone, and maybe not an addiction particularly because that is a very extreme
big one,
case, I think, but for someone who's in a relationship and lacks that agency, how do you help them find that again or point them in a direction to...
Well, that's a great question because part of it is going to be, do they want their agency? Agency is a lot of responsibility and it's scary sometimes. When you're the one who has to be responsible for your own decisions, some people are like, nah, I'm just going to continue to give this up and then blame others.
Well, and I think the temptation too is like, if it goes wrong, then I'm not responsible.
Right.
So it's like,
exactly. Ew, adulting. Right. Great question.
I think, we know someone very close to us.
Yeah.
Who is very much the husband is very much hyper, although hyper kind of what was the first one we said, not the hyper dependence, the other one
hyper,
the wife is the hyper dependent one.
Hyper what do we use? Toxic self-reliance, hyper agency.
Yeah. That would be the husband, and I wouldn't say it was toxic. I wouldn't say it was toxic, but in that case, I don't think she wants her agency.
No.
Occasionally,
and she becomes frustrated.
But rarely.
In fact, you see it play out again and again because she will continue to ask him question after question for everything.
Yeah.
Well, and granted, he's not like writhing his hands going, I have control. But that's the kind of relationship they built. And
And
is it bad?
Right.
I think big question is, can that person be trusted to have that person's, best,
Yeah.
Yes.
I think because I think of my grandma right now who is not doing very well mentally and is very dependent on my grandfather to take care of her, to remind her of appointments and do all this stuff. And he loves her and takes care of her and can be trusted to do that because she can't have that agency right now mentally.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's a good point. Yeah.
Well, I think when the spouse that is, or the person in the relationship that is the more self-reliant, as long as they are not toxic, and like you said, they do love the other.
Yes.
The other.
Yes.
I mean, at that point, are you going to really say, "Oh, you're doing it wrong"? It's
no, sure, yeah. If it's working for them,
this is the dynamic that.
Now, should that person who doesn't have their agency then grow in resentment and tension and all this other stuff? That may be a result of having given up their agency.
Which is so sad, because it's like that they've grown resentful and angry of their own choice.
Yes, but we're blind to that. Oftentimes we are blind to that. Totally.
Yep.
Totally. Well, so our behaviors, our strength, our heart, soul, mind, strength, the strength that I can initiate and follow through based on my choices, right? Hyper controlling would be compulsive doing and no rest. Hypo, or the unhealthy other extreme, would be inertia, or even why bother, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That could be a type of avoidance. So healthy is aligned action with our values. What I decide matches what I do. In other words, this totally like Christ giving up his life, right? We had a debate about this last night, and whether or not he actually said, "This I do of my own volition," and it's in.
Which you looked it up.
I did look it up, and it was.
He doesn't say volition though.
He does, and it's not in the prayer of the Garden of Gethsemane. Is I want to say John 10:28, where he talks about the plan where he must go to give up his life, and many times he says, "Yes, I do my Father's will. I do my Father's will. I do my Father's will," but he also says, "I do of my own choice." So you have this beautiful tension between this is God's will, but this is also my will, because my will is aligned with God's will. And it's not, I got to go do this thing. Oh my gosh, I really don't want to do this, but I have to.
Yeah.
It's no, and I would imagine that comes with a full understanding of God's heart.
Yeah.
Right. Of God's love. And even because
trusting
he is God.
Trusting his goodness.
And because Jesus is Lord and God, he also has the same heart for the people. So he's not like, even when he says, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Right. I'm telling you what, if someone's calling me names or throwing rocks at me, unfortunately that's not my first reaction. It's like, oh yeah, how dare you? Like somehow I'm so important that you've offended me. Did you find it, Caleb? No, I don't think you found it.
I think I found what you were referencing.
Okay.
At least, yeah.
I saw him over there searching diligently. So yeah, it's Christ is like aligned with this is what I too have my Father's heart, and I see what he sees. Boy, man, there would be a place to go. Okay, well, let's pause right now, and we'll be back after a word from our sponsor. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris Oneth reminding you that our next question is brought to you by Downey Park Counseling Associates, where since 1977, we have a group of Christian counselors that are ready to help you with any need. Visit us at our website at downeyparkcounseling.com. Okay, welcome back. Okay, so we talked about heart, soul, mind, strength. We talked about a lot of things. How about agency in relationships? I think we've touched upon this. Hyper agency, total self-reliance in relationship is distancing or dominance. I'll decide for us. And that has never gone over in our relationship like that. So, and hypo, or giving up our agency, involves enmeshment, fusion, compliance. In other words, you regulate me. Whether I'll decide or you regulate me, I mean, it's two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
It's, you have to do what I say for me to be okay. Which looks like hyper agency, but there's an element of giving up my agency because you have to comply.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be okay if you didn't comply.
Yeah.
Well, that's giving up my agency. And then on the one down, you determine how I'm going to be by rescuing me in certain ways, by agreeing with me. You got my back, right? Yay. Healthy is mutual influence without losing ourself.
Yeah.
So we influence each other. And this has total application to marriage, to friendships, to everything else. Even, dare I say, I'm going to throw this out there, women and their role in the church. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now we're moving on.
Wow.
I mean, look, is it for 1 Corinthians where they talk about women wives submit to your husbands, but they also say husbands submit to your wives.
It's in Colossians, I think, and Ephesians.
Colossians, thank you, Cass. This is why I love this kid. Yes, 100%, right? And so the submission, and this is a whole nother area, but submission can be about, always has to be about doing it on our own volition. Not, well, I have to submit, and so understanding why and being totally okay with that. Just like, okay, look, there's parents out there, and we've had to get up and tend to our kids in the middle of the night. Do we get up and say, gosh, this stupid kid, or do we get up and say, it's a kid, it needs help?
Yeah. At the same time, children submitting to their parents' authority,
right,
and also us submitting to God's authority,
right.
All this stuff, where we're not necessarily losing agency, but we're also being willing to trust those who are in positions of authority over us, who hopefully have our best in mind, and will guide us in correct ways that we may not even understand at this point.
Right on.
Yeah.
And in God's word, is it Galatians 6:2-5, bear one another's burdens. Right? That I'm okay with doing this. And we are in this together. So, all right. Agency with our environment. Whoa. How do we influence and not dominate? Right? Well, and this is convicting for me, but I can clean up my messes. Hey, Melanie Jones, you weren't the neatest person when I married you. We were just discussing the other day how there's been issues with closing drawers.
Oh, I have a big problem. I don't know what it is.
It's just.
How does that have you feeling? You've been addressing this issue since
day one.
Day one, yeah. But I was watching my grandson for a few days over at their house, and I was doing stuff, and I come back into the kitchen and I see like all these cabinet doors open. I'm like, why do I do this? I do this, and I don't know why.
It was the Damascene moment.
Why? I don't know why I do that.
I don't know. It might be a little ADD where you're like, you open it and then you do something and then something else distracts you. You move on.
Maybe. I don't know.
And she, when we were first married, it got to the point where there would be a drawer open and then like a piece of clothing hanging outside the drawer. That was the best. No doubt you were looking for something else, that perfect, ensemble. But I was like, I remember even back then being like, babe, what's the deal with closing a drawer? And then your response to me is, well, can't you think of it as like, oh, my wife? Yeah.
Can't you find it cute?
Cute. Yes, exactly. Sure. That's true.
How do we get on that? Oh, environment. Okay.
And having agency over environment. We talk to many people who, and there's some train of thought out there that the way your environment looks is exactly what's going on in your head.
Chris, own it.
Right.
Your head is not looking good.
Nobody can see your desk right now.
I have one little pile, which I think is pretty good for me.
They used to be a bunch of little piles, but then you put them all together.
Wow. Yes, exactly. Quickly.
So when you said environment, my brain kind of went immediately to like bigger picture of like, I don't know, global landscape or, environmental things that are happening. But I think oftentimes they can feel so big that it feels so disheartening that like, man, I have no control over this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I think at the same time, we need to realize, there are things beyond our control. And yet there are things we need to recognize what we do have agency over in our reaction, what we can do as individuals, how we can get involved. Because otherwise it just becomes so overwhelming that it's like
100%.
I feel like I have no agency.
Well, I can walk on the street, and if I see a piece of garbage, I can pick it up and find the nearest receptacle and throw it away. Do you realize that? So this forever changed. Well, yeah, I think it forever changed me. When I now go out to eat, I try to clean up as much as I'm able. Sometimes, we go out as a big family and we can't necessarily clean up after ourselves. But if I'm by myself, I try to clean up the area as best I can, because my boys told me that in Japan, if you go out to eat, you have your meal, and then they bring you a towel so you can clean up. You talk about like responsibility and agency for your own self, the environment that you're in. Yeah. It's also rude to walk and eat at the same time. So there's two things in Japan I noticed I didn't see. I didn't see garbage on the street at all. At all. And I didn't see garbage cans. So at some point,
there is no garbage cans. I know. So you just end up carrying it around with you because it's like, what do I do with this?
Yeah. Well, you don't. You take care of your business at the place, and then you're free to walk around with no garbage.
You don't see people walking around with a drink in their hand.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
So thank you, Japanese. Appreciate you. Okay, so primary control, right, is trying to change the world, obviously. Secondary control is changing the self, as in interpretation, acceptance, alignment, when the world can't be changed, right? I've run into this with clients where they get really frustrated at work because, by example, like other people aren't doing their job. And so they spend a lot of time in tension thinking that, I have to do this all by myself or whatever else. Well, a couple layers to that. It's like, do you have to do others' jobs? No. But you do have to do your job. That's your agency. My agency is I don't have to do your job so that you get to continue to skirt. And I do have to do my job, do the best that I can. And that's what I can do. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, when I'm done when I'm done with my days of work, what I can be happy about in my own values is to say, I worked hard. I did what I needed to do.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. So, as far as stewardship, in Genesis 2:15, right? Adam and Eve were placed in the garden to work and to keep it. We have an environmental responsibility. We need to be more aware of, okay, I don't want to be wasteful. I don't want to be because this is something I can do. Here's my agency. Here's how I can
take care of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say that's interesting because, like, obviously God could have just said, like, everything will be fine, like everything's taken care of, but He gave us that agency to, like, no, I want you to be a participant. I want you to have active ownership over the land, over my creation, over these things. So that's God inviting us into His creative control and order of the universe. We also get to have that agency.
Yes.
And responsibility.
I love especially because that's before the fall. Mm-hmm. To work and keep it came before the fall.
Sure.
Yep. Which is interesting because I think we're still going to have agency when we're in heaven. I think a lot of people think like
something?
Heaven, we're going to have like, there's nothing like we really get to own anymore. I think
it'll be like
I don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah,
ideal commune culture.
We had it before sin, and I think we're going to have it after sin as well.
And that's funny because, believe it or not, taking self-agency can feel so good. And on one hand, it feels scary because, I'm responsible for my choices. Yet on the other hand, when you follow through for yourself and do yourself the favor of something that is good, that's amazing. Part of the problem that we're running into in our culture is, and this goes for addiction too, reward without cost or reward without effort, right? And being an agent of ourselves asks us to take part in that effort, to then find the reward, even the reward in the effort, and then being able to turn back to the Lord and praise Him for that.
Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, totally. All kinds of scripture talks about, on one hand, yes, John 15:5, apart from me, you can do nothing. But also, Ephesians 2:10, we were created for good works, prepared beforehand.
Yep.
Right? That requires we start stepping through and doing something. Nice. So, what are some reflections or some stuff we can leave you, the audience, with?
Are you asking? Is that
sure? Take it away, babe.
Maybe asking yourself when I'm stressed, which ditch do I tend to head towards?
Right.
right? Because we all head towards a ditch.
Right.
Is it control or collapse? Or are you just like,
No.
I think of my grandson's just like, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's that collapse.
Yes.
Sometimes.
His legs aren't locking in.
Sometimes, but
Yes.
yeah.
I think I was gonna say too, when we find ourselves lost or like down or just disheartened, like asking yourself, what's a step that I can take? Like
what can I do?
Yeah, even if it's a small step, like realizing that you have that agency to get yourself maybe out of that position or to take a step toward something in a good direction.
That's a great point.
Totally.
I mean, we've lived in a trailer now for a little bit, and right now we don't have a house. Okay. But it doesn't mean we can't do other things. Mel has an extensive tree garden. She's ready to open a nursery.
Well, and that was a huge part of that, though, was like the more we were there, I was like frustrated of all the things that weren't getting done.
Yeah.
And then I started to ask myself, okay, what can I do?
Yes.
And so that's what I do now, is just, what can I do now?
Tend to plants, and now you're planning on a greenhouse.
Yes, I'm going to build a greenhouse. Yes.
Yes, and what can I do? I can go to work. I can go to the gym. I can still live my life, and I don't have to wait for all these things to happen the way I'm hoping will. And God has His hand in all of it. But yes, being able to enact our own agency.
Yes. Okay, so then in relationships, do I tend to overfunction or underfunction?
So this is interesting because this goes to Bowen. What is his first name? Anyway, I'm drawing a blank. Overfunction tends to be, you find a lot with women in relationships when husband is disconnected. So the overfunctioning woman will tend to do all the things and then grow like upset and frustrated when he's not doing anything. So maybe you have to ask yourself, am I overfunctioning here? Am I doing all these things to keep this afloat, all the house stuff, all the kids stuff, and do I need to back off some of this stuff and then have him take responsibility?
I think that's a huge struggle for a lot of women, because
100%.
it's like, well, if I don't do it, he's not going to do it, and then it's not going to get done. So,
and maybe
it's just like with a kid,
Yes.
I think moms struggle a lot with that. Like, if I don't do this for them, he's not going to get it done, and then he'll be in trouble with this, and you think all the steps down.
Something crazy happened this week when you were away house setting. I ran out of laundry. I know. I'm like, what's happening here? What am I going to do? I had to go buy more of everything. And so I did laundry. There you go. So the other extreme of that is underfunction, where I just avoid and zone out, whatever, TV, social media, whatever. So be aware of those, right? Mm-hmm. Moving right along.
And then in my environment, what is primary control today? And what must be secondary control?
So what can I do now versus, okay, what can I, what do I have to defer,
Well, and I think primary also says, like, what is within my power to do.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
Not just what can I do next, but like, what can I actually accomplish? Yeah.
Yeah.
Spiritually, spiritually, do I default toward I've got this, or I'll do nothing?
Yeah. Do I default toward I'm going to grab it by the horns and take control, or be passive? And this goes back to the overfunctioning versus underfunctioning type thing, where it's like, I don't know, I throw my hands up, I don't have control, I have to wait for someone to do something for me to be okay. Being aware of that. And if you, and I run into couples all the time, I've said it 1,000 times, I'll say it again. If you are together in a relationship, and couple, as in marriage, as in parent-child, as in friendship, and you are unhappy with what is the way the other person is acting, ask yourself if you are happy in your life in general.
Yeah.
Because if you find yourself saying, I would be happy if, and if it always goes toward something being different or someone being different, that is a sign that you do not have agency and autonomy over yourself. And so being able to say, what can I do? Now, that's a confusing question for people because a lot of people say, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. And so there's something to explore.
Yeah.
Trial, error. That goes back to taking agency can be a scary thing because you go try this thing and then, oh, well, that wasn't what I thought it was. But what I will encourage you to do is this. Whatever you try, do it with an open mind. Do it with, let's see what happens, not it has to be this way.
Yeah.
Because in saying it has to be this way, you are giving your agency over to
the thing,
right? You give me a hard time when I go out mountain biking. And if I crash, which happens, she's like, "Oh no, you crashed." I'm like, "No, I had a great time."
Yeah,
because
giving your agency to the outcome.
Exactly. Yes, my having if I don't crash, that's great. But I consider crashing part of the deal.
You're so used to it.
So used to it. It's so great.
Well, I love that though. I love that. That's not like. I think that might be a personality thing too.
Sure.
You're an optimist.
I am.
And so...
unless things don't go my way.
No, but being able to come home after you crashed and still say...
like one side
I had a great time.
All dirty.
I broke my arm, but I had a great time.
Well, that was like when what is it? Oh, when I got that... my shoe fell apart when I was on the... when I was at Point Arena with my mountain bike. I rode out this trail. It was a beautiful sunny day on the coast. I rode out this trail, and then my shoe fell apart. That connected into the pedal.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I actually put it on film. And I was like, well, now I had to walk it. I had to walk it uphill, and then get on the bike and like ride it downhill because you needed a shoe for these pedals. I was trying to do it without a shoe, and it was painful. But I still had a great time. I still had a great time. It wasn't dependent on, if this thing goes quote unquote perfectly. There is no perfect, and it's just about seeing what happens. So that's my encouragement to those of you out there is see what happens.
Yeah.
Go at it with an open hand in whatever you try to do with your own agency. Mm-hmm. Don't tighten your hands to say, no, it has to go there. That's part of being controlling. It's not going to help you.
And you'll probably be disappointed.
You will absolutely disappoint.
Because things always go wrong.
Things, yes. And I would challenge even that. What does going wrong mean? It just goes.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. No. Yeah, but that's a lot of people's mentality is, I don't want things to go wrong. Well, they don't go wrong. They just go. That's the way they go. You slip on your bike on the dirt, and that's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
So, yes. Get out there and live life.
Amen.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today. If you've gotten anything from this podcast, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend.
And be sure to join us next time for our next question.